Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Elena, and today I got a pretty big project going on. I will be restoring this really old shelf I found at my mother-in-law's garage into a new plant shelf. And I thought some of you might be interested to see how it's done. So if you are, keep on watching. For this project, I prepared a few things that I'm going to need. First step is going to be sanding it down because it is a metal shelf and it is rusted. I will show you up close in a minute. So what I got for this, I got two different type of sandpapers. I got a block just because they're easier to work with. And just regular sandpaper. One is number 80. And one is 120. The reason why I chose two different grits, 80 is really gonna take off a lot of that rust, and 120 is gonna smooth out the surface before I paint. So basically with sandpaper, the larger the number, finer it is. And the block, it's also 80. I just figured it might be easier to work with. Next thing I brought here is paper, just to kind of cover up the shelves after they are painted, so I can paint the sides because this shelf is going to be painted in two different colors. I kind of like the variation right now. The sides, they seem to be painted that bronzy color, and the shelves itself are black, so I still like that combination. I'm gonna kind of recreate the same thing. And I got the masking tape so I can kind of tape the paper to the shelves. And of course, we're gonna need paints. And luckily for me, since my mom paints, she gave me a bunch of paints to work with. I did not have to spend a dime, which is kind of nice. Basically, these 4 cans right here are just flat black paint. Some of them are already started, so I'm just gonna use up the ones that already don't have, they're not full. And the last one right here, it's kind of that bronzy color. You can see it's actually gonna be the color of the cap. So that's what I'm gonna use on the sides of the shelf. And I'm sorry if you guys hear traffic. I do live nearby the road and it's pretty loud. And now we have airplane going by. This is crazy. Oh, and I also brought a bucket right here with just water and just the old rag, so I can, once I sand everything down, I will wipe all of that dust off before I paint. So you don't ever want any kind of dust sitting on the surfaces that you're going to paint, otherwise paint will not stick to it. So I guess let's get started before my camera melts. It's very hot today. Alright, before I start on sanding, I wanted to show to you up close how rusted it is, so you have a better idea of what I'm working with. So it's pretty bad, but it's okay, we can work with that. The bottom shelf is the worst so far. The underneath is not too bad, so I don't think I'm going to need to really work on that too much. All right, we got our block. This is 80, like I mentioned before. And what you're gonna do, you're just gonna lightly sand all of that. And you could see how nice and smooth it's gonna get. It does not have to be perfect, it just needs to be smooth, because the paint will cover the rust. Basically, I'm gonna repeat all of that on all of the 6 shelves, you guys. You can see how much smoother the surfaces are now. The last 2 shelves were the worst. So now I'm gonna go with 120 to make surfaces much smoother. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wrap my block just because it's easier to hold, was to find my sandpaper. Do this again. Alright, I think it's smooth enough at this point. Now I'm going to wipe the shelf down, let it dry, and we can start painting. So exciting. Let me show you up close now. It's all clean and smooth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint shelves black first, and I'm not going to worry about the sides as I'm painting the shelves, because the sides I'm gonna paint after, and I will tape shelves. All right guys, let's get painting. So we are down to one last can, and I have 2 more shelves left. I'm really hoping that's gonna be enough, or we're gonna have a problem. Alright you guys, I guess today is my lucky day. We just had enough, which is amazing. Otherwise I would have had to go to the store, and I really don't want to. So the top shelves already dried. The last 3 are still wet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start wrapping with paper the top shelves. So by the time I'm done, the last 3 will dry, and we can start painting the sides. Alright, here is how I decided to go about it. Just wrapped it with the paper, just secured with the masking tape at the bottom, because all I need to be covered is the edges right here, because all this going to be bronze color. I don't know if it's a good idea. I guess we'll find out. But this is all taped. Now we're gonna paint bronze, and the bottom shelf I literally just tucked it under the shelf, because like I said, I only need edges to be protected. Look how pretty, you guys. Alright, I'm gonna put my camera down before I paint all of it bronze, and I'll show you when it's done. Alright you guys, check this out. I guess it protected edges pretty good. Not too much splashing, which is really good. The colors turn out really nice. I'm very happy with this. So I guess I'm gonna put this shelf in the dining room and take a shower. I really need it. And tomorrow, you guys, we're gonna start setting up the lights, plants on it. Obviously you're gonna see it in the same video, but for today I'm done. I think it turned out really cool, you guys. What do you think? Let me know. Alright guys, here's where I decided to place my new shelf. It's in my dining room / my plant room. If you've seen my videos, you kind of know the layout of this room, and that's where it's located. I think it turned out really nice. I have selected some plants that I'm gonna put on the shelf, which are right here. There's quite a few, and if I need more, I can always find more. But before we do that, we actually have to set up the lighting. So I got another set of Barina lights. These are full spectrum. I will link it below if you guys interested. Got the extension cord, and I got command strips, since I like working with those better than the ones that they include in the box. Pretty much we are setting up lights on each shelf. There's 6 shelves, and we're gonna run the cord now all the way to my grow cabinet, because that's where my smart strip is. So I'm gonna plug it in there, And I'm thinking to set up the bottom shelf as my desert shelf. So I'm gonna move some of my plants here that I have, some cacti and succulents. I'm gonna put it over here at the bottom shelf. This way I can create more space on this shelf since it's much taller, and I can put my taller Hoyas on here. So I guess let's get started. All right, you guys, so here's the plates. There's 8 strips in this box, so I'm gonna have 2 left over. There's, I believe, 7 of these cords because I've done this before. So, and there's a long cord that we're going to connect it with. So let's start putting them on. And last time I was setting up these lights, I forgot to mention that each light does have a little switch, which is nice. I put that switch kind of in the back because I control all of them through my phone, through my smart outlet. So, but if you guys want to control manually, or if you want to turn off certain shelves earlier than others, that's very handy to have. What I like to do is command strips. I like to cut them in half since I don't need them that long to hold those lights. Those lights are actually not that heavy. So I'm just going to stick them together. And I'm just gonna cut them in half. I'm gonna keep this part on the top of the shelf. This way, if I want to remove it, I can just stretch it out and remove it. One here, and we're gonna put another one over here. The reason why I like to use Velcro command strips, just because it creates some kind of barrier between the stickies, so this way they don't really fall off the shelf once the lights get warm. And also it gives me an option to remove them if I need to, or if I just need to replace one light, I can always just remove one. So I guess let's put this in. I'm gonna put it in the center of the shelf. Hope it's in the center, kind of. Okay, that's good enough. So basically now we're gonna repeat this 6 times on every shelf. That is done. So now we're gonna need this kind of cords to connect them between each other, and there's a bunch of them in there, like I mentioned before. They actually give you everything you need. I really like this company. Okay, that is done. Now we're gonna need this kind of cord. It's much longer, and it has a switch. So that one I'm going to connect to the last light, and then I'm gonna plug it in into my extension cord. Now it's gonna go in here, and we're gonna run it in the back. All right, that was not that much fun, but it's okay, it's done, it's all connected. Now let's check if it works. I want to make sure it works, you guys. It works, you guys, that is so exciting. So I guess let's start putting plants on it. And once I'm done setting them up, I will bring you up close so you can guys see how everything is set up and connected, and also check out the plants that I selected to put here, and some of them you actually have not seen yet. Alright guys, I think it turned out pretty good. Knowing myself, I'll probably move those plants 100 times before I'm completely satisfied. Maybe put some other ones here too, because there's actually quite a few space left for more Hoyas. Obviously small Hoyas because the shelf space is pretty short. So guys, let me know what you think. If you like my new shelf and my new setup, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share with your plant friends, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. New plant friends are always welcome on this channel. I guess let's go in and check it out. All right, this top shelf right here, I selected some plants that don't really need a lot of light since this is kind of a darker corner. I have a couple of whale pens here. Here's another one. My neon philodendron, which is not in the best shape, but it's getting there. And I got some exoticas here, so I think they will be good here. I guess time will tell. And this shelf right here, I put my Hoya sigillatus here. It is a little sun-stressed because it was in my grow tent and it was getting a lot of light there. So I decided that I'm gonna offload my grow tent a little bit and make space for new plants. And right here is Hoya pentaphlebia. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but that's one of the Hoyas you haven't seen yet. Here's my Hoya parasitica. And right here, actually, I don't think you guys have seen this one yet. This is Hoya Sarawak, but this one is a pink one, and I already have, I believe, a cream one. So this is also a newer Hoya here. And here is my gray ghost, Carnosa. It hasn't grown, it hasn't done much, so I think I will be chopping that one up soon, and hopefully it will start growing for me. And right here we have Hoya Hoyashikliana. As you know, I have a bunch of them throughout. And there is actually more blooms are gonna be happening here. They bloom all the time and they're so cute. Right here we have Hoya Memoria, also known as Gracilis, and it's gotten pretty big. There's pretty long vines here. Here's another one. And it actually had a peduncle, but it was the first peduncle that ever came out, so it didn't make it. But I'm not too concerned. Once this plant is strong enough, it will grow another one. So right here I have two Hoya Jennifers. They are from two different sellers, so I'm kind of curious to see if these smaller leaves Jennifer are gonna catch up and be just as large, or these are just kind of a little bit different from one another. I'm not very sure, but I put them in the same pot. And right here I have my Hoya Pachiclata New Moon. I guess there's a new name for this Hoyas, but I have not done enough research to tell you for sure, so I'm gonna still call it the way I purchased it. It's very, very pretty, but it's a very, very slow grower, which makes sense. I mean, this is very heavily variegated. It's very, very pretty. And right here is my wonky girl, my little carry eye that I love so much. That's the one that have weird small leaves, and it's doing well. And right here, this one, I don't believe you guys have seen it, but this is Hoya Abavata variegata. This is the leaf that grew in my care, and it's kind of funky. It doesn't even look like anything right now, but it's okay. It's still kind of acclimating, getting used to my home, but it does have a little vine right there. So it's growing. Once it gets enough strength, it will start growing nicer leaves. And right here, I put my little cuttings of Retusa, which is growing quite a bit. This one we propagated together, and it has grown, you guys. It looks pretty nice. And right here I have a Hoya Joy. It's doing well, except the new stem kind of dried up, so we still only have one leaf, and it's okay. And right here, Hoya SP 536. This is another one you guys have not seen. Leaves on this Hoya are very thick and succulent, and they're kind of more neon-y color. At least the mature leaf is pretty large. These are two new leaves that grew in my care. It's still very new to me. I can't really tell you much about it yet. I'm still kind of watching and learning about this one. And on this shelf right here, we have Hoya fungi. It grew, guys. It grew quite a bit. You saw me getting this Hoya when it was so tiny. I believe it's only had these two leaves right here. And now we have two vines actually happening. So that's pretty exciting. No peduncles yet. Right here, I have a Hoya Kaimuki. As I mentioned before when I was unboxing one from Plants Wake You Up, that I already had one, I decided to put them together in one pot. Right here, I decided to put my string of pearls, and this is variegated kind. They are very pretty, but they do need a lot of light, like a lot. So and I think it should be okay here. I guess I will watch and see. And if it starts losing some of that variegation, I'm gonna move it back where I had it before. And right here I have a Hoya Sunrise. You have not seen that one either. This one I got as a gift as I was purchasing some other Hoyas. It's still fairly new. It's still kind of acclimating to my home. And right here, which I don't think you guys have seen this one either. This one is Saxifraga tricolor. I have no idea if I'm saying it right, but this is very, very pretty. I think it's like strawberry begonia, but this is a variegated, at least that's what it looks like to me. And right here, just my little Sansevieria or Dracaena, whatever they are now. Right here, I put my Manjula pothos that you guys have seen previously in my bathroom. And it was there for quite a few years and wasn't really growing much, and it was just kind of surviving. So I decided to repot it and put it here. Hopefully with much more light, it will be much happier. Then I have my Hoya macrophylla and probably now latifolia splash, and this is a green one, you guys. As you know, I did wanted to have a green one, and I do have it, and it's actually grew me some leaves here. And right here I have Hoya AH021. I do have another one. This one came to me in the spring. It was lost in the shipping for about a month. For some miracle it did survive, but it does have some damage on the leaves, as you could tell, on both of them. And these two new leaves that are smaller and lighter in color, these are the leaves that grew in my care, so I'm glad it made it after such a long journey. And this is just a propagation of one of my caryi. And this is Hoya balaensis splash. I did have to reroot her. She was not doing well. So once I did, it started growing for me. And now we have a vine right here, which is nice. And right here, just my little rescue Hoya carnosa, just green, nothing special, but she is special to me since I rescued her. And here is my little desert shelf, you guys. So just my little jade plant that I propagated from those leaves. They are still kind of attached there. So, but all of these babies grew from those leaves. So right here I have another succulent, and you guys, I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me show you. There's Millibug right there, or a nest. That is not okay. I'm gonna clean it up after I'm done filming. I'm so sick of those bastards, you guys, but that's, I guess, the ugly side of the plant hobby. So, and here's my little carrots. I don't know name for these, but these are so cool, you guys. One is just, I don't know, lost a leaf and now just looking like that, but the other two are doing well. And this one actually gonna bloom again for me. It already has before. It doesn't look like it's gonna focus on it, but it's gonna bloom again. Nothing very significant. They're kind of weird looking blooms. They're square. If I find a photo, I'll put it up. And right here I have my Euphorbia lucinera. I like this little guy. It's very cute. You guys have seen it recently in my plant haul. Right here I have another little succulent. And right here I got this, and I do not remember name for this, but this is a little cacti and it's supposed to bloom purple flowers. I will put the name on the screen. Another little cacti I have with no name. And right here it's a monkey tail cactus. I moved it here for better lighting. It was not really growing that much on my south window, but I think because of the overhang, hopefully it will start growing a little bit faster here. And here's my lifesaver plant. That's just the propagation from my son's plant. It's gonna live here from now on. Here's another succulent, and I don't remember name. I grew it from the tiny little leaves. They're tiny. I don't know if you guys can see it. It doesn't want to focus on it. It's very, very tiny still. It's growing. It's doing fine. And right here I have another cacti, also no name, because big box stores don't really label a lot of cacti. Right here I have Stapelia hirusta. It's kind of the same thing as a lifesaver plant, just a different flower, and looks a little bit different, but it's in the same genus, same family. And right here I have Haworthia cooperi. It's doing very well, and it's actually bloomed for me before, but here's a little stalk from the bloom, but it's very insignificant. I tried to actually take pictures and it was not that easy, but it's doing very well. It's very pretty. So that's basically what's going on here with the new shelf. I hope all these plants will be happy here. If not, we'll move them around. That's not a problem. This shelf definitely added a lot more space for my Hoyas, and as you could tell, I can put quite a lot more in here, and I think that's where I'm gonna keep my little babies until they get big and they're gonna need to go on a trellis. Then we're definitely gonna need a taller shelf. I should also probably show you the light setup. I hope I'm not blinding you guys, but here it is. So they are interconnected with each other, going this way to a next shelf. It's actually very easy setup. I do like this light since I had a chance to test them for a while, since I do have them in my grow cabinet. And basically it's the same here, and this big cord going down all the way to my power strip, which is right over there, you guys. That's a smart power strip. I can control my lights with my phone now, have it on a schedule, just like all of these lights right here. So I do like the lights quite a bit. I've had them for quite some time. You guys have seen the video when I was setting up my grow cabinet with those lights, and they are still doing very well. And also right here, these are the same lights, and I have some strips in my grow tent also, so I can definitely now, since I had them for a while, I can definitely recommend them for you guys if you're looking for a new grow lights. That's it, you guys. So let me know what your thoughts are on this new plant space that I got, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.